Yeah, let's kick it off. It's a great pleasure that you've joined me this morning. I want to thank you for giving me a bit of your time. Hello, Ash. Nice to see your smiling face. And yeah, just a great pleasure for me to be able to explain eXp's model to you. If you're here as a guest, either of myself or of one of our agents, I know many of the agents in my team are on the call as well today. You're very, very welcome, and thank you for joining us. My purpose for today is to give you a well-reasoned, hopefully intelligently explained explanation of eXp Realty's model. Who are eXp Realty? Obviously a real estate company launched in South Africa just 3 years ago. And so you would be forgiven if before today you'd never heard of eXp Realty, although within the industry, eXp is starting to become quite well known because we've grown so fast in South Africa. Around the world, globally, eXp is 14 years old, launched in 2009 by a gentleman named Glenn Sanford, who is a Canadian, launched in America originally. And eXp's story is a bit of a Cinderella story. They came on the scene as kind of the outsider because of the disruptive nature of their technology and the completely out of the box model that Glenn Sanford conceived for this business. And within 14 years have become the largest real estate company in America on transaction count. Now, to begin today's presentation, I'm going to throw a few stats at you because I want at least to get your attention. If you've not investigated eXp, if you don't understand their model and you're just kind of curious, at least let some of these statistics I'm throwing at you give you pause, to give you cause to pause, and at least say to yourself, well, whatever Stephen is going to present to me today, even if personally it's not a fit for you, and that's absolutely fine. We don't want you coming across to eXp if it's not a fit for you. It's got to be a fit, obviously. But even if it's not a fit, I would hope that you come out of today saying to yourself, wow, that actually is a phenomenal business with a phenomenal business model. So eXp, the largest real estate company on transaction count in America. We have 90,000 agents, who have joined the business in 14 years, which is also dramatic. It's the fastest growing real estate company in history. A company like Remax or Keller Williams in the States, I think Keller Williams has got something like 150,000 agents in the US. Although we are about half the size in the US on agent number, we are the largest on transaction count. Remember that stat, friends. Remember that stat. When somebody says, oh, this business is just all about recruiting as many agents as you can and growing the business as fast as you can. It's not actually about selling real estate. Just remember that stat. We're selling more real estate per agent than any other company in the world. This is a pucker, proper, efficient, successful real estate company. So what has made this model what it is? That's really what I'm going to present to you today. But I'm going to make a couple of suggestions to you in advance. The first one is that you do some homework after today. If eXp is everything that I say it is, then surely the homework will bear that out. If you go and do some research into this company, you should find exactly what I'm telling you, if it is what I say it is. So I would encourage you to do some homework. We've got a page. I'll tell you what, I will email the link to this page to everyone who's on the call today. I'll email it to you afterwards, so you've got it. On this page, we've just collated a whole bunch of websites and YouTube videos that different people around the world have done, so that at least in one place you can find a whole bunch of resources to do some homework. But I would also suggest you get on to Google yourself, get onto YouTube yourself, and go and do your own research into eXp Realty, so that at least you can get satisfied as to the truth of the claims that I'm going to make today about the company and that are being made about eXp Realty. So go and do some homework. If you are satisfied and excited, and there's that little flutter in your heart at the end today that says, maybe this is an opportunity for me, as it has been for many, many people around the world. And in fact, the other stat I didn't throw at you is eXp is now the fastest growing real estate company in South Africa's history. So we have, after just 3 years, okay, so if you started a real estate company, in 3 years, how many agents would you want in order to consider yourself successful? Well, I can tell you, because I've been in real estate for over 20 years, that if you start a real estate company in your area and you grow for 3 years, you would be very happy if in 3 years you'd grown it to 20 or 30 agents. That would be a very successful real estate business after 3 years. eXp South Africa, after 3 years, we've got 1,200 agents. You know, I love pausing for dramatic effect at moments like that, because the numbers and the stats and the success and the growth of this business are quite astonishing. And it really should leave you thinking, why? What is going on here? What is up with this business? This thing is, it's like a unicorn. The point I was making is, if that's you at the end of today, and you think to yourself, okay, this business is actually intriguing, maybe there is an opportunity for me in this, I'm going to recommend the best investment that you make in your life will be to get yourself a ticket to come down to Cape Town on the 14th and 15th of February next year and attend this conference. It's called the Build Conference. It is a conference that I do host once a year. We bring the top eXp agents from around the world to South Africa, plus a whole bunch of our successful South African agents speak. It is a 2-day experience that will change your life. You do not want to miss the Build Conference. This year, we've got Brent Gove, who's got the largest team, like a team of real estate agents called a revenue share team. I'll explain how that works today. So Brent Gove, the big guy on the left, he's got the biggest revenue share team in the world. He has 30,000 agents in his team that he earns revenue off all of those agents. And he's also an incredibly good and godly man. I've got enormous respect for this man. So he came out last year. We're bringing him out this year again. And then at the bottom, those are our keynote speakers together with Brent, Jay and Ashley Nelson, incredible couple. Jennifer Jones in the middle. Jennifer is, if not the top, one of the top 5 selling agents in eXp worldwide. She's based in Canada. Phenomenal woman. And she loves training other agents to do what she's done. And then Randy Dick is one of the top real estate agents in Canada. He's also coming with his wife, Jolene. So we're unbelievably excited about the Build Conference. I would strongly recommend you do that. Right, where do you get tickets? buildafricaconference.co.za. Just take a screenshot of that or take a photo with your phone so that you can go to the website later. Okay, eXp's model. As I explain this thing to you today, probably if you do have one of those light bulb moments, which many of us have when we see this thing, probably the thing that you will notice most is this exit plan that eXp offers to agents. Now, I don't work as an estate agent. I was a trainer, okay? But I had the same problem that most of you have got. I had to keep selling training. I had to keep doing webinars. I had to get the next speaking engagement at some real estate conference. And I would wake up on the 1st of January every year. It doesn't matter how much money I'd made the previous year in my training and coaching business. I had to do it all again. I had to find new clients, new conferences. I had to come up with new webinar ideas. It was exhausting, folks. I was exhausted after 20 years of trying to do this thing over and over and over and over again. And I knew that there was no way I could sell my business. Now, that is the exact problem that every real estate agent in the world has. It is virtually impossible to build the kind of business that you can sell for 70 or 100 million rand, which is what you need if you want to live off the interest on that investment for the rest of your life. And the moment you stop working, you stop earning. If you don't work in 2024, how much are you going to get paid for the 20 or 30 deals that you did this year? Zero. You've been paid for those deals. It's all over. You've got to start doing it again. So the guy that started eXp, he said to himself, he was a Keller Williams agent, Glenn Sanford. He had a huge Keller Williams team, $60 million team. And he said to himself, you know what? If I started a real estate company, what would I, as an agent, want it to offer me? And he said, the first thing I would want it to solve is this fact that we have no exit plan as estate agents. The moment we stop working, even if you are an estate agent for 30 years, the moment you stop working, you stop earning. What do I do about retirement? What do I do about freedom and flexibility and being able to travel and be able to spend more time with my family and pursue some of the other dreams I have in my life? When do I ever get to do that? Have you asked yourself that question? When is the day going to come for you where you can pursue your own dreams and your own goals and enjoy your own freedom? Well, that's the first thing you're going to notice when I've explained eXp today to you, that they've solved that problem. Now, it's not a gimme. You're going to have to work for it, but they make a plan available within their model where if you work that plan and you give some attention to it while you are working as an estate agent, doing what you're normally doing, you can build up a significant passive income or asset base. Now, how does that work? Well, the first way you can do that is by building up what can become a sizable shareholding in the company. Okay, what shares? eXp is a NASDAQ listed company. So they are listed on one of the major stock exchanges in America. It's the tech stock exchange of the States, where Facebook and Apple and Cisco and PepsiCo and all of the big tech companies are listed. eXp are listed on the NASDAQ. And we get given shares in the business, and you get access to discounted shares in the business through working as an agent for eXp. I'll explain how that works later. Second of all, you have the opportunity to earn an increasing amount of the revenues of the company itself. Now, because eXp is owned by the agents, when the company globally earns revenues every month, they share those revenues with the agents of the business. And you can start building up a bigger and bigger slice of the pie of the revenues of the company that they pay back out to the agents. That, my friends, you've never heard anything like what I've just described to you. And I'm going to explain how it works. But this is what has changed this business, the industry. Okay, the next thing that you're going to notice is that eXp offers you independence. And I put this slide in because I've been doing this long enough now, 3 years, to know that the thing that attracts many people to eXp is the fact that it gives them all the independence of running their own business, but being able to do so on the world's best technology platform for real estate. So I don't know if where you work now, if you're not with eXp, but you might be in a company where you feel like at times they treat you like a bit of a child. Like you've got to be in certain meetings every week, and you've got duties that you've got to do, and you've got targets that they've set for you that you've got to hit, and you've got to answer questions about how many listings you've got, or how many doors you've knocked on, or how many flyers you've handed out this week, or I've met a lot of estate agents just say to me, I'm sick and tired of being treated like a child. I can stand on my own 2 feet like a man, and I don't need someone else telling me what to do. Now, I don't know if you resonate with that, but I got to tell you, I'm not looking for a new job. I don't need anybody to hold me accountable. I've run my own business for 25 years, businesses for 25 years, and I can get busy with what I need to get busy with. I don't need you to hold me accountable. Thank you very much. Give me a great opportunity with a great platform in a great community. So I love the relationships. I love the people. But don't go on top of me like you're some authority over me and think you can control my life. Okay, now I've just described to you the inner workings of Steve Johnston's brain, but it may be that you relate to that. Independence, being able to be the captain of your own ship, and yet you didn't have to design the ship. It's this platform that eXp make available. So that's the other thing you're going to notice, the opportunity to be completely independent while being part of an incredible community and building your business on somebody else's platform, the best platform in the world. So there's old Glenn Sanford. I've told you a little bit about him already. I won't go into it, but you can Google him and find out more about Glenn. When eXp go to a new country, 3 years ago, eXp began an aggressive global expansion drive. South Africa was actually the first country that they targeted. Why? Because the guy that they headhunted to be the head of eXp Global outside of eXp America was the former head of global expansion for the Reality Group. Reality, now they've rebranded, they call themselves Anywhere, and Anywhere are very fast going nowhere at the moment. So Anywhere own Sotheby's, ERA, Century 21, and then a couple of the big US brands, Corcoran, Better Home and Garden. They're the biggest listed real estate group in the world. Michael Valdez was the head of their global expansion, and he had planted Sotheby's in South Africa. And he was very impressed with South Africa's legislative environment, the deeds office, property transfer. I know you guys get frustrated with the PPRA and all that, but by comparison to companies like Mexico, guys, I promise you, South Africa's system works really well. We've got a solid banking system, and the real estate industry is regulated. So he was very impressed. And he said, okay, eXp, I'm now head of eXp Global Expansion. We're going to South Africa. So they came to South Africa. And when they go to a new country, they start a company in that country that it's 100% owned by eXp. It's not a franchise. And they then employ a local staff complement. So eXp has grown rapidly in South Africa over the last 3 years. Who's the principal of the company? We have one principal for all the agents in South Africa. His name is Andrew Thompson. He's a phenomenal guy. He has done a phenomenal job of building this business in South Africa. And then there's a whole team around him. I see Amanda Ray yesterday was just voted globally the eXp ambassador of the month. But that's high praise for our senior administrative staff that she got selected out of the whole world as the best eXp staff member. So, and then you've got Javi Rousseau, the operations director. He was one of Keller Williams' top guys in South Africa, and on we could go. You will meet many of these people if you get into eXp. There's transaction coordinators. There's some of the transaction ladies that you will work with on all of your transactions to help you get your FICA stuff in place, etc. There's endless support. The team is incredible. Let's look at the two models of real estate. Traditionally, what you have, and this doesn't matter if it's one of the global giants like Keller Williams or Sotheby's or Remax or whatever, or if it's one of the local real estate companies like Pam Golding or C4 Javits or whatever, they all work with the same basic model. This is how real estate has worked for, probably close on 100 years. At the very top, you've got the owners of the business. Who's the owner of Keller Williams? Gary Keller. Who's the owner of Remax? Dave Liniger. Sotheby's and Century 21, they're owned by a listed entity called Anywhere. So you have owners at the top of that, and these owners have some kind of bricks and mortar structure. They have an office that they work out of somewhere, and they have a cost base. Then you've got the way they expand their businesses is they have some kind of international head office. So if where does Gary Keller wake up in the morning and go into the office to meet the sort of international leadership? And there's a big Keller Williams International head office somewhere. Same with Remax, same with all of these other franchises. That's got a bricks and mortar expression, plus a whole staff complement and lots of expenses that come along with it. So what these guys do is, from international, how do you expand? Well, around America, every state then has got a regional office, and you can get the rights to, let's say, Remax California, and you can purchase regions. So I know with Keller Williams, you can actually purchase regions. So you can have Keller Williams Northern California, and I know that because one of the biggest eXp leaders, a guy called Gene Frederick. Go and find a Gene Frederick video on YouTube and watch it. He was one of the first people to move across to eXp when eXp started 13 years ago. He was basically Gary Keller's right-hand man. He owned the Keller Williams Northern California region, which is one of the biggest, plus 4 others. He owned Keller Williams Hawaii. He owned Keller Williams Cupertino, which is where Apple's head offices are. And Gene Frederick, when he saw eXp's model being this massive Keller Williams leader, he said to the guy that showed him, actually Glenn Sanford himself showed him in the early days, he said to him, he went home and he said to his wife, I've just seen the Netflix of real estate. He said to his wife, if you and I knew that Netflix was going to do to Blockbusters, which is like Mr. Video, where you used to go get your DVDs, if you and I knew what Netflix was going to do to the DVD industry, completely destroy it, would we have owned a Blockbuster franchise? Would we have gone and purchased a whole lot of Mr. Video stores? No. If we knew what Netflix was going to do. And then he said to her, well, we own 5 big Mr. Video franchises, talking about his traditional Keller Williams market centers. They sold everything. They moved across to eXp. This is an illustration to you of how some of the most senior people in real estate around the world, when they've seen this thing and they've had the experience personally of building in the old model, they see this thing immediately. So regional offices, same thing with South Africa. There's a Remax head office in South Africa. It's down the road here in Cape Town in Plumstead. There's Keller Williams, the head of Keller Williams. Some guys get the rights to Keller Williams in South Africa, and then they have bricks and mortar. They have expenses. They have staff. They have advertising budgets. They have a whole bunch of expenses. And then what these guys do, the regional leadership, their job is to sell franchises. That's how this whole thing works. They sell franchises and you become a broker owner or a principal or a franchise. In South Africa, we've got some of these franchises are actually company owned, like Pam Golding. Half of the Pam Goldings are owned by Pam Golding themselves. Half of them are owned by franchise owners who purchase the franchise. But there are regional, local expressions. Now, in the traditional model of real estate, what does this local franchise look like? Well, they've got an office on the corner of the main street in your town, and you can wander past and walk into the office and you can look at properties and they display them in the windows. That's what a franchise looks like. What do? They recruit agents. Okay, so here's my question. Now, that's the traditional model of real estate worldwide. Here's my question. Who makes all the money to pay for all the layers of expense you have here? Bricks and mortar, bricks and mortar, bricks and mortar, bricks and mortar. Who pays for all that? So somebody tell me in the chat roll. Where does all the money come from? The agents. Thank you. Thank you, Monica, James. The agents. The agents make all the money in the system. Now, I want us to think, how much, let's take a Keller Williams tree. I'm not picking on Keller Williams. I'm just picking you could pick any of these companies. If you were to add up how much money is spent on bricks and mortar through all of these layers worldwide with Keller Williams, How much money do you think it would be? Well, I can tell you, we've got one of the top team leaders for Keller Williams, Ada, has just come across to eXp. She said that one of the market centers in Cape Town, the monthly expense for just this one market center, which is like an office, is 300,000 Rand a month. That's what it costs: the rent, the staff, the insurance, the electricity, the coffee, the internet, what the expenses on the office. 300,000 Rand a month. Multiply that through the whole of South Africa, the whole of Africa, the whole of Europe, America, Canada, Asia, South America. It would be, as Monica says, billions of US dollars that is spent in the traditional model of real estate on bricks and mortar. And who pays for it all? The agents. That's why you're on, where you currently are, a 50-50 split, maybe a 60-40 split. If you're very lucky, you're on a 70-30 split, or you may be on an 80-20, but then you've got a desk fee that pays for it. And when they take your 30%, let's say you're on a 70-30 split, when they take your 30%, what do they do with it? The short answer, they keep it. They keep it. They don't give any of that split back to anybody else, any of the other agents. They don't share the revenues of the business with the agents. They keep it. Why? Because it's got to feed the beast. They need it. Okay, so Glenn Sanford comes along. He takes a look at this. He's a Keller Williams agent. 2009, there's just been a massive global crisis and crash in the real estate industry in America. So he has time to like pause and look at this whole thing. And he starts thinking about the model of real estate. Real estate companies are crashing everywhere in 2009 in America. And he says to himself, you know what? I've actually been building, he's a bit of a techie guy. And he says, you know, we've been running our business online anyway. People are searching for properties more and more online. This is 2009. How much more is that true today? And he says, you know, we deal with email and I'm building websites for agents. Like, let's just do away with the bricks and mortar. Let's just cancel all the buildings. Let's start a real estate company that uses technology wisely, that has the best real estate technology platform in the world. And let's replace all the bricks and mortar. So that's on the right-hand side here, this cloud. Let's create a business in the cloud, eXp Realty at the bottom, which is what it ended up being called. We will just be the tech platform for the business. And here's a crazy thought. Let's put the agents at the top. Let's make them the owners of the business. They own it. And let's share the revenues of the company back with all the agents. It's such a simple strategy. So here's the question. Is it working? Is it working? Has it worked? About 6 months ago, a little less than 6 months ago, it was the Inman conference in America. Inman is one of the biggest industry conferences in the state. It's not an eXp conference. It's a general industry conference. And they had a guy there named Mike Del Preet who spoke on disruption, technology disruption in real estate. He's just an industry commentator. And he started talking about eXp. He's not affiliated to eXp. He started talking about eXp because he wanted to talk about disruptors. And he's saying, well, there's this company called eXp Realty that have come on the scene and have completely disrupted the industry with their technology. And in that presentation, you can actually find it on Mike Del Preet's YouTube channel. Go and find him and watch it. I think I've got a link to it actually on that page. We're going to email you the link to. I'll put it on there as well. He put this was one of his slides. I took a quick screenshot of it. And he was showing how the old model of real estate is bleeding cash. Okay, so let's have a look at this. At the bottom here, you've got a company called Compass. Compass are the other fastest growing real estate company in America at the moment, but they've got a very different model. They've got an acquisition-based model. So Compass are just buying up small to medium-sized real estate companies all over America. I don't know how they're funded. There's obviously someone with very deep pockets that owns Compass, like a venture capital company or a bank or something. But they are losing money hand over fist. In the first quarter of this year, Compass made a, what's that, $65 million loss in the first quarter. That's in 3 months. Then you've got Anywhere, who I said to you earlier, Anywhere are going nowhere fast. This is Sotheby's, Century 21, ERA, and a bunch of the other big US ones. Anywhere, and this is just a traditional real estate model, they lost $50 million US in the first quarter of this year. Folks, you can't lose that amount of money for too long. You cannot survive losing that amount of money for too long. Then you've got another one of the big US companies, Douglas Elliman, and then a couple of the others. Basically, the only profitable real estate company in America is eXp Realty. They made, I think it was an $18 million profit in the first quarter of this year. And they've announced the Q2 and Q3 earnings now of eXp, and we made, I think it was a $15 million profit in Q3. And that is in a very restricted market in the US. Interest rates are high. The industry's under pressure. Is it working? Is it working? Guys, eXp have completely changed the game of real estate. And I don't think the industry will ever be the same again. Okay, 4 disruptive pillars. So guys, I did say we're going to be here until 11 o'clock, and I'm going to go till 11. And if you have any interest in changing your future, I would suggest to you that you stay with me until 11. All right, 4 pillars. I'm going to tell you what they are in advance, and then I'm going to explain them each in more detail, and then we're done for the day. That's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of today. Number 1, a phenomenal technology platform. And I've talked a bit about that already, but I'll give you a little bit more insight into what it means to be an agent at eXp. Yeah, that's basically your experience as an agent. Secondly, the training. We have the best training of any real estate company on the planet, and there's a reason why we can make a claim like that. Thirdly, is the stock award. So that's building up a shareholding in the business, which I will explain how that all works. And then lastly is our revenue sharing system, which is a complete game changer. So this is how you can build up a passive income and get a bigger and bigger portion paid to you of the revenues of the business. Okay, so let's start with the first one, a phenomenal technology platform. There's lots to say here, and I'm going to just kind of hit the highlights. You can find out more as we get into a discussion personally after this. Okay, and by the way, folks, if you are on the call and you're a guest here today, again, thank you for joining us. I love explaining this model to agents. If you're interested afterwards, it doesn't mean that you're making a decision or you're joining or anything like that. It just means that you're interested. This does look compelling to you. Please get into a conversation with the person that invited you here. You're going to have a million questions on your mind, which we can't all cover today. Just get together. Just have a Google meeting if you're not in the same part of the country. If you're one of my guests here, don't play hard to get. Just get together with me afterwards and let's have a discussion one-on-one. Okay, how much does it cost to join eXp and get access to the platform? Let's start there. It costs 900 Rand to join. That gives you access to all of the eXp systems. It gives you your eXp South Africa email address and the listing system and all the stuff we get. And then it costs 900 Rand per month to be a member of eXp. Yeah, that's the costs you're looking at. 900 Rand per month. And that includes everything I'm going to tell you about. Okay. Including, I'll tell you what, I'll get onto the systems we get access to after that. What split are you on with eXp? Now listen carefully. You're on a 71-29 split to start with. And the deal is the same for everyone. You can be an intern or a candidate property practitioner, or you can be an NQF level 5 principal, which you don't need with eXp. And you'll never need that. You can build as big a team as you want. You don't have to be the principal. It doesn't matter where you are in the spectrum, everyone's on the same deal. 71% you get paid, and there's no further deductions, there's no secret transaction fees, there's no secret master license fee that they take off before that. You get paid 71% of your commission. They don't even take the tax off because we're independent contractors. You've got to make provision for your own tax. You get paid out 71% gross. Okay, why do I say 71.29 when this little panel here says 75.25? Okay, this is important. You pay 25% of your commissions to eXp South Africa. But you also pay, if you look at the bottom panel on the slide, you pay 4% to eXp International. Okay, so let's just call it what it is. You're on a 71.29 split. The 25% that you pay eXp South Africa, however, is capped to 150,000 Rand a year. So if you're with Keller Williams, you'll be familiar with the capping system. It's the same way that it works at KW. They pay 25% of your transactions to eXp. That they keep a track of how much money you are spending, you're paying to eXp. When that amount of money has reached 150,000 Rand, which would be the same as 600,000 Rand gross commission. I hope you get the maths there. Once you've done 600,000 gross commission, you would have paid in 25%, that's 150,000 Rand to eXp South Africa by that point. Then they cap you there and they say, thank you very much, well done, you've capped for the year. You no longer have to pay eXp South Africa anything. So once you've capped, that means you are then on a 96% split for the rest of that 12 months. We just had a guy this year, Brad Neal, who capped in 6 weeks. He capped in 6 weeks. What does that mean? That means for that 600,000 gross commission he did in the first 6 weeks of the year, he paid his 150 in. For the better part of 10 and a half months this year, he's been earning 96% of his commissions. That is phenomenal, folks. I sit with agents all the time. We've got a little spreadsheet that compares your income, where you currently are versus eXp. It is run-of-the-mill, normal, when we do those calculations for agents to earn 300, 400, 500,000 Rand more just by coming across to eXp because of the split and the capping system. Okay, so this is one of the compelling reasons to come to eXp. You will make more money coming to eXp just on your commissions. What do we get for the 900 Rand a month? There's a whole bunch of systems. We've got the most unbelievable technology platform. Guys, you've got to understand, eXp's technology is out of this world. But for the sake of comparison to where you're currently at, you get a listing system, yes, where you load all your listings. They get syndicated from there to Property 24 and Private Property. Okay, so for those of you small business owners, you're thinking to yourself, hang on a second, my P24 membership costs me 5,000 Rand a month, sometimes more, with all the clicks and all the leads that you've got to pay extra for. And this says it's 900 Rand a month and all my listings go to P24. Yes. Is there a limit? No. Unlimited listings, unlimited leads, unlimited clicks, all for 900 Rand a month. Same for Private Property. You get a Lightstone membership or CMA, you can choose. You get a virtual agent membership. You get a PropCon membership. PropCon is the top CRM system in the country, as far as I'm concerned. So you get PropCon, and that's normally 220 Rand a month if you want a PropCon membership. All of this stuff is included as part of your 900 Rand a month. This is like starting your own business, folks, which would cost you at a minimum, if you want 3 or 4 agents that you're going to recruit in a local office, it's going to cost you 50 or 60,000 Rand a month minimum, bare bones, to run a real estate business. You get everything, all of that, except for a brick and mortar business, which you don't need with eXp. You don't need an office. You get everything that you would pay thousands and thousands for 900 Rand a month. Anything else I want to mention there? No, I think that's the highlights. We can go into that later. All right, PropCon, that's the CRM system. That's Leandre. Her and her husband Lawrence run PropCon. They are a phenomenal couple, and they've created an incredible CRM system. We can't wait to show you what you get access to through eXp. We've got our workplace and work chat profiles. I'm not going to go into that. This is our internal communication tools. The eXp agents are incredibly collaborative all around the world. You can reach out to eXp, any of the 90,000 eXp agents anywhere in the world, and people communicate with each other all the time. And we do that using our internal communication tool. It's actually a Facebook app, but it's for internal company purposes. All right, branding. We've got a whole bunch of templates and stuff. Obviously, there is a corporate image, and there's templates you can download for sale boards and directional signage and business cards and letterheads and decals for your vehicles and whatever else you'll need. All of the templates are available for you. You get access to a marketing center. This is just one of the technology tools you get access to with eXp, where it'll actually create all sorts of marketing stuff for you. It'll create social media, video posts, and photograph-based posts. It'll import your listings and just create the posts for you. Beautiful presentation, like brochures that unfold, videos, flyers, postcards, brochures, you name it, one-page websites for all of your listings. The marketing center creates it all for you. So that's on the eXp branding side. However, if you have a brand of your own, I'm busy looking at Christine's face on my screen here. So Christine's got her own brand that she's building, Christine Oppel Properties, powered by eXp. Michael Price has done the same. Realtor SA, which is Liz Nanell, that was the top agent. Our last award for the top agent in eXp was Liz Nanell, top selling agent. She's built a team in the northern suburbs, and they're all branding themselves as Realtor SA. Let's say you are currently trading as your own business, Lighthouse Properties, and you don't want to lose the brand. You don't have to. You can bring Lighthouse Properties across, bring the whole team across to eXp. You lose behind the scenes the legal entity. You deregister from the PPRA. You're no longer the principal of the company. You don't need a trust account. You don't need the audits. You don't need the P24 members. You don't need the legal entity of the company anymore. It doesn't exist. But the brand you keep. You're now just Lighthouse Properties powered by eXp, so that to the general public, it doesn't look like much has changed. Your brand continues. You're just partnering with one of the top real estate companies in the world now. It looks quite exciting, but behind the scenes, you've stripped out all the costs and all the admin of the business. eXp's platform is now what you're running your business on. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal model. I love the flexibility of the branding. All right, additional income streams. I won't go into the detail here, but we've negotiated, because we're a big company now, and I personally have got a big group within eXp. We've negotiated really good splits with service providers that you refer to your clients all the time anyway. So bond commission is a common one. We've got a relationship with Multinet. Now, you don't have to use Multinet. If you've got a bond originator with Better Bond or whatever it is that you like working with, you work with whoever you want to work with at eXp. You're an independent contractor. You use all your own service providers. But if you do use Multinet, our relationship, they pay 0.5% bond com, and that's the highest that companies get in the country. But for most guys, I see there's like Rawson agents here or whatever. I'd like to know, in your office, do the agents participate in the bond commission? Like, do they get part of it, or is it all just paid to the principal? Often the principal just keeps it all, or they keep most of it and maybe you get a small percentage of it. Well, with eXp, the company does not get 1 cent of any of the bond commissions or any of the third-party incomes. You keep all of it. It's as if you owned your own business and had negotiated the top bond commission with Multinet, and you get paid it all. So this has actually become a major income stream for a lot of our agents. Someone the other day got paid 45,000 Rand on their bond commission on one of their sales from Multinet. Now, the same thing with Funnel and Associates. They do a whole bouquet of insurance products, their bond insurance, obviously, but then they extend it to others, and they pay our agents a percentage of the premiums, and then currency partners and the like. All right, so that's the tech platform. Let's get busy. I'm going to rush through the training side of things. If training is important to you guys, let's have a conversation outside of this about the training. eXp's training is phenomenal. We have 20 or 30 training sessions going every single day within eXp. Why? Because we have a standalone division within eXp called eXpU that puts on training for all the eXp agents globally that we all have access to. Where do these training sessions take place? In eXp World. Okay. Now, I haven't shown this to you yet, but it's something you'll meet when you join the business. We have an avatar world. It's like a metaverse that's got offices. So if you ever need support as an eXp South Africa agent, what do? You open eXp World. It's an app you download on your computer. Your little avatar, you walk into the world and you go to the eXp South Africa offices. When you walk into eXp South Africa's offices, one of the staff will be standing at reception, normally Irene, and you will immediately hear your computer say to you, Irene will be talking to you like a Google meeting, a bit like this. She'll say, "Hi, Stephen, how's it going today? How can I help you?" And her avatar and my avatar are now talking to each other. And I'll say, "Look, I've got a problem with one of my transactions. I need Zion to look at, I don't know, whatever, some FICA thing I need help with." She'll say, "Okay, great. Let me see if Zion's in the office." Yes, she's in. You can go around and walk into office. You take your avatar, you walk around the reception, you go to Zion's office, you walk in. Zion says, "Hi, Stephen, how's it going? What's up?" I say, "Okay, let me share my screen." You click on one of the screens in her office. You can share your screen and you sort out your problem. You don't have to wait for appointments. You don't have to drive to an office and then some guy's on lunch and then you wait there for him to arrive and then he actually decides to go play golf so you can't get the help you need. This is incredibly efficient when it comes to service to the agents. Okay, so this is where we do our training. We have auditoriums like the one on your screen, and you can go to training that's being held all over the world. And they produce a calendar months in advance that you can go and plan your training. Let's say you're just going to do one session a week. There's like 20 or 30 a day. Let's say you're going to pick one a week you're going to do. And you look at the thing and you see, okay, next week there's something in the Icon Auditorium in America on social media marketing or crushing it on Instagram. That looks great. I'm going to go to that one. All you do is you find the correct venue in eXp World. At the time you walk into the venue, click on a seat to sit down, and you're live in this training session. On top of that, eXp South Africa put on South African specific training. Every week there's probably, 5 or 10 training sessions that eXp South Africa put on. Then there's training that I make available. So I am a real estate trainer by profession, and I've taken the top real estate training courses that I've developed over 25 years, and I've made them available just to my team. So these are the things that people used to buy from me. Now I don't sell these to the public anymore, but when you join our eXp team, you get access to all of these for free. I also partner with some of the top trainers around the world from time to time, like Bill Pipes, who's one of the top real estate coaches in the world. We just did a 7-week series with Bill Pipes with my team. And then Fred Wilson, we did a 6 series. Honestly, guys, I think that's the series I did with Fred Wilson is the best real estate training I've ever been a part of. He's a unique kind of, almost on the spectrum kind of guy, but he has locked onto the key skill of success in real estate. That's available. We've got the replays available for that, and we'll make those available to you when you join our team. So the training is unbelievable. And then there's the Build Conference. Okay, so let's move on. Agent owned. How do you get shares in the business? I said we get given shares in the company. How does that work? Okay, so in 2017, I think it was, eXp listed on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. There's old Glenn Sanford and the board of directors on the day that they listed. Very proud day. You know, when you list on one of the major stock exchanges in America, the chairman of the board at the end of the trading day gets to push a button. It used to be a bell in the 1970s. You'd ring a bell. And now it's like this electronic button that you push that shuts down the market for the day. And that's an honor they give the chairman or chairwoman of companies that are listing on the stock exchanges. So I had this weird thing of it. When I was a kid, I'd seen some movie where the guy got to ring the bell and shut down the world markets. I always wanted to be able to do that. I don't think I'm going to get my chance. But Glenn Sanford got his chance. There he is, shutting down the world technology markets. I'm so jealous. That's ridiculous. Anyway, so how do we get given shares in the business? Okay, 2 panels here. Jean, I see you taking photographs. If you want me to send this to you, I can send this whole PowerPoint presentation to you if you want me to. I don't mind you taking photos, but it'll just be easier for me to email it to you. Okay, so you're thinking, why didn't you tell me that an hour ago? Okay, so there's 2 panels here, Agent Equity Awards and the Agent Equity Program, slightly different. The one on top, these are shares that we get given for free by doing what you're already doing at your current company. Then the one at the bottom is discounted shares that you get access to through working as an agent at eXp. So let's do the top one first, shares we get given. There's 3 types here, and then there's one more type on the following slide, which I'll show you. Okay, so you get paid 2,000 Rands worth of shares when you do your first deal every year in January or February, whenever it is. They just say to you, hey, congratulations for your first deal for the year. Boom, there's 2,000 Rands worth of shares. They convert that into US dollars. They purchase the shares for you, and they put them in a Morgan Stanley trading account, which they open for all of us. We've all got a Morgan Stanley account that you access through a Morgan Stanley app called ShareWorks. You log into your ShareWorks account, and you can see all your shares. When you cap, and hopefully you will be a capping agent, that means you do 600,000 gross commission in the year. When you cap, they give you 4,000 Rands worth of shares. They say, hey, congratulations for capping. Here's another 4 grand's worth of shares. Convert to US dollars. They round it up, by the way, because it'll never buy exactly the amount of shares in US dollars. So if you bought like 4.5 shares, they'll just give you 5 shares. 4 grand. Then when you sponsor someone into eXp, and I need to just pause and explain what sponsorship is. Sponsor is a technical term within the tiered system of eXp that describes who introduced you to eXp. It does not mean that if you sponsor someone, you are paying for them. You're not paying for them. It just means that you've introduced them into the system. No one worldwide can join eXp as an agent without listing an existing eXp agent on their contract. You have to be referred into the business by an existing agent. That's the way it works. Now, I personally sponsored Ashley Rodder, who's a lovely lady who's in Gauteng in our business. When Ashley did her first deal as an eXp agent, because I am her sponsor, I got given 4,000 Rands worth of shares. Thank you, Ashley. She got given 2,000 Rand because it was her first deal for the year. So I've sponsored now a bunch of people. Over the 3 years, I've sponsored about just less than 100 people personally. And many of them have done a deal already. Some of them, we're still waiting for them to register, etc. But I've got about, just on number 3, yeah, I've been given about 250,000 Rands worth of shares. I didn't pay anything for those. They just got given to me. And they're sitting in my ShareWorks account. And I'm not actually working as an agent, so I don't get the first sale award. I don't get the cap award. And I don't get access to the next one, which is the Icon Award either. If you become an Icon agent with eXp, that means you do 3 million Rand gross commission. These are the kind of upper end, probably top 2% of the agents in the world become Icon agents. What eXp do for the top agents in the world is when they become icons, they give them the 150,000 Rand cap that they paid in for the year. They give it back to them in the form of eXp shares. How radical is that? That means icon agents are on a 96% split the whole year, because even their 25% that they pay gets given back to them in the form of eXp shares. This is why the top agents in the world are all moving across to eXp. No one, folks, can compete with what this company are doing for agents. Okay, so that's 150 grand's worth of shares you can get given if you're an Icon agent. The second type of share, oh, sorry, one last point. All of these shares that we get given, they take 3 years to vest. What does that mean? It means you do not take legal ownership of the shares for 3 years. If you leave the company within that 3 years, you forfeit the shares. Why do eXp do that? It's a retention scheme, obviously. And you know what? Fair enough. If I leave eXp now, I lose the 250 odd thousand rand that I've got sitting in my eXp shares. My first batch is about to vest, actually, and then I'll take legal ownership of them. Then they're mine. But fair enough. I didn't pay for them. They gave them to me. And it is a very effective retention scheme. You hardly see top agents leave eXp. Hardly. I mean, I could count on one hand the number of productive agents that I've lost in 3 years. Literally, I could count them on one hand. Now, we have lost other agents, but those are guys who are not paying their 900 Rand a month. And they, you know, if you don't pay your 900 Rand a month, eXp are going to kick you out. And you do get unproductive agents that join, and then they don't make it. They leave. Okay, so that's that. Then there's a second type of share that you will have access to as a working agent, where eXp say, if you want to participate in the agent equity program, you don't have to, it's voluntary. But if you want to, you tick a block when you sign your contract. They will take 5% of your commissions and they will redirect the commissions. They won't pay them out to you. They will purchase eXp shares for you at a 10% trading discount. So the 10% discount of what it's trading at on the day. Now, those shares don't take 3 years to vest. You own those shares immediately. If you wanted to, you could go and sell them the same day and realize that 10% gain. But I think you'd be a fool to do that. What I tell agents is pretend those shares don't exist. Just let them build up in your ShareWorks account. You know what it's like. If money lands in your account, you spend it. If money never lands in your account, it goes somewhere else. You just forget it exists. Imagine you were to work, let's say you take a 5-year exit plan or a 10-year exit plan. You want to be retired in 10 years' time. What would your gross commission be over the next 10 years? Let's say you do R1 million gross commission a year. That's 10 million Rand gross commission over the next 10 years. Now you take 5% of that, which is R500,000 Rand, and you purchase eXp shares at a 10% discount. Okay? You go and look at the eXp share price. Now it has fluctuated as share prices do, but if you look at it over a longer period of time, let's say over the last 5 years, eXp shares have gone from $2 to, I'll tell you, yesterday, 14, 17, so 2 to 40. Oh, and there's been a share split. So it's the equivalent of $28. So 2 to 28. It's gone up, what's that, 10, 12, 14 times in 5 years. Now imagine the share price in 10 years' time. It's the fastest growing real estate company in history. Where's the share price going to be in 10 years' time? You got R500,000 Rands worth of shares at a 10% discount in today's value. What will that be worth in 10 years' time? Folks, it could be worth, I'm not saying it is, I can't predict the markets, but it could be worth millions and millions and millions of rands. And it's sitting in US dollars. So also, as the rand continues to weaken against the dollar, you're gaining on the exchange rate. That could double its value in the next 10 years, just that alone. Folks, it's at points like this in the presentation that what I want to ask you is this. Does your current company do this for you? How many shares in the business have they given you? Guys, this business has completely changed the way agents are treated. They're treated like owners. I love it. Love this business. Okay, the last one, we're going to finish with this revenue sharing. this is the reason I joined eXp. Now, this may not be the reason you join eXp. You may have seen enough already. You may say, you know what, a 71% split with all the independence of running my own business for 900 Rand a month, with 150,000 Rand cap, and then I'm earning 96% of my business, of my income. Plus, I can build up hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of rands worth of shares in the company. You know what? That's enough for me. I'm coming. That's fine. You may not be interested in the revenue sharing side of the business, but I can tell you what, when I saw this, I was interested in the revenue sharing side of the business. What generally happens when people join eXp is they know a few others. They know some other estate agents. And sooner or later, someone's going to ask you, and this has already happened to Ashley. Ashley, you've already sponsored someone, haven't you? Someone's joined you? Yeah. So Ashley's already got people that have joined her at the business. Why? Because she's respected and people know her and they trust her and they've joined her. They've said, okay, Ashley's joined eXp. Ashley, tell me about eXp. I've heard something's up. Explain it to me. So she did, and they said, this looks good. I want to join too. And they joined. And Ashley became their sponsor. That is going to happen to you. If you've got a reputation in the market, if you've got relationships with agents, some of them are going to come to you and talk to you. So here's what eXp do. If somebody puts your name as their sponsor on their contract when they join eXp, eXp now say, because you are helping grow the company, Ashley, when we take our 25% split on that agent's transactions, instead of keeping the 25% to ourselves, Ashley, we're going to share, in this case, 3.5% of that with you, because you're an owner of the company and you've helped grow the company, and so you're going to share in the revenues of the company. What I want you to get with this, guys, is that 3.5% that Ashley's getting paid on that person's transactions is not getting paid out of the agent's portion of the split. The agent is keeping their 71%. It's eXp who are sharing their revenue with Ashley. It is a revenue sharing model. That is incredibly powerful. You know, at your current company, have you introduced any of the agents in your office to your principal? I mean, maybe not, but maybe there's someone here that said, yeah, my sister-in-law joined our Rawson franchise and she's now in the office. What I want to know is, does that Rawson franchise owner pay you a percentage of that agent's transactions every time they do a transaction? No, they don't. They don't share the revenues of the business with the agents. eXp do. Okay, so you can earn up to 21,000 Rand per year on each agent you personally sponsor onto what we call your tier one. Those are agents you personally sponsor, tier one agents. Now, why is it up to 21,000 Rand for each agent? Well, it makes sense because if the agent Ashley sponsored becomes a capping agent, they've paid in their 150,000 Rand for the year, they now no longer pay eXp for the rest of that 12-month period. They keep it all for themselves, except for that 4% international fee. They're keeping it all. And so eXp South Africa are not getting any revenue from that agent anymore, and so there's no revenue to share. So once the agent caps, the revenue share caps at that point as well for the rest of the 12 months, and then it resets again at the beginning of the next anniversary year. That's why it's up to 21,000 Rand per year. Okay, now, Albert Einstein made this comment. He said the eighth wonder of the world is, can anybody finish that sentence in the chat roll? You've got to, if you want to understand financial freedom and how to get true financial freedom, you've got to understand this principle. The eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. Okay? Compound interest. That's like that thing. Have you seen that little illustration where they take a chessboard and they say, okay, you can either have 10 million Rand cash, or You can have 1 cent on the first block of the chessboard, and then it doubles for each of the chessboard little squares. So 1 cent on the first day, you get 2 cents on the second day, you get 4 cents on the third day. Okay, what would you take? Well, if you take the chessboard, somebody can Google it, it turns out to be like hundreds and hundreds of millions of rands because of that compounding effect, that exponential growth. That's how to become financially free. John Paul Getty put it this way. He said, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own effort. You've got to find a way. If you want freedom, we're talking about an exit plan here, guys. If you want freedom, you have to find a way to benefit from massive exponential growth of some kind of population that you earn a small amount from this big growing population. That's how to become free. So Ruben has just said 1 penny doubled for each square on a chessboard would equal 184 quadrillion dollars. I've never heard of a quadrillion before, but it sounds like an enormous amount. That's the principle here. Now, watch the screen. Watch the slide. You've sponsored someone on your tier 1. What happens if Ashley sponsors Mary on her tier 1, but what happens if Mary sponsors Bob? Well, that would put Bob on Mary's tier 1, but on Ashley's tier 2. So what do eXp do? Well, they say, you know what? We are going to pay Mary 3.5% of Bob's transactions. But you know what, Ashley? Bob would never have joined if Mary hadn't have joined, and Mary wouldn't have joined if you hadn't have introduced her. So we're going to share Bob's revenues with you too, Ashley. In fact, we're going to give you more than we give Mary. We're going to give you 4%. So we earn 4% of the commissions, the gross commissions of the agents on our second tier. It's also a brilliant model because I sponsor Ashley, but I'm incentivized to help Ashley sponsor Wild Woofy. Sorry, if you look at the chat roll, I actually don't know who Wild Woofy is. But hey, Mr. Woofy, I'm very glad you joined the business. Well done, because I now earn 4% of your transactions. Sorry, that was probably, oh, is it Mike? How's it, Mike? I bet you that was like your teenage daughter that set up your Google account or something. Anyway, so here's the power of this, guys. I've sponsored 95 people personally, okay, on my first tier. Already in just 3 years. On my second tier, I now have 259 agents on my second tier. These are agents I've not introduced into eXp. I have sponsored 95. They've sponsored in just 3 years 259. That number is going to keep growing. Where will that be in 10 years' time? God willing, all other things being equal, it's going to be thousands, and they will be all over the world. And folks, I don't know any of them. This is just people introducing people, introducing people, introducing people. Now you take that and you multiply that down through 7 tiers. Each tier getting bigger than the previous one, bigger than the previous one. This is the power of compound interest. It's the power of exponential growth. This is how you get financially free. I can tell you this, folks. I earn much more now than I've ever earned, and it's only just beginning. It's only just starting. I've only been doing this for 3 years. I've got 750 people in my revenue share team down through my 7 tiers. And folks, just as an illustration of what this model can do, I will go a whole day, I'll go a whole week, and my phone won't ring. I'm not legally responsible for any of these agents. I don't provide transactional support. I don't sort out problems that they've got. They are independent contractors with eXp. eXp are doing all the heavy lifting. eXp have got a full staff complement. They provide all the systems. They provide the training. They sort out disagreements when they're disagreements. They do it all. All I did was introduce 95 people, and I get paid on everyone's transactions. In a word, it's passive income. Do you want that? Okay, well, I can tell you now, it's harder than you think it is. But if you are willing to work your backside off and show a lot of agents the eXp model and get serious about just introducing this thing to others, if you sponsor 90 people personally, in let's say 5 years, give yourself 5 years to sponsor 90 people, you will be free for the rest of your life. It's hard. It's harder than you think it is. You're probably going to have to speak to 1,000 agents to sponsor 90. Most of them will say no. But if you're willing to do the work and to stick with it. I have never seen an opportunity like the revenue sharing side of eXp's model in any other business that can, consistency, tenacity, yes, that can set you free like this business can set you free. If you've found something, folks, that can do this in just 3 years, financial freedom, you find something that can produce the kind of wealth that this thing produces, let me know what it is. I'll come and do it with you. Okay, I want to blow your mind. As this thing grows through the 7 tiers, these agents that you earn a percentage on the revenues on, and it's not joining fees, eh? You don't get money when people join. This is not a pyramid. This is a revenue sharing system. You are helping grow a real estate company, and the company sharing their revenues with you. That's all it is. These agents do not only have to be in South Africa. These agents can be anywhere in the world. So I had an old coaching client, his name was Frank Brisson, based in France. I coached him for, I think, 2 months. In the 2 months that I coached him, we did an unbelievable job of reducing his expenses, and he was incredibly pleased. But the language barrier was too much for us. When eXp launched in France, this was like a couple of years later, I sent Frank a very simple English email. All it said was, "Hello, Frank. Hope you are well. Please watch this video. There's an exciting company coming to France that I want you to look at. Stephen." I heard nothing. About 6 months later, I get an email. It says, "Dear Stephen, I want to join this business." That's how I read the email. Okay, it says, "I'd like to join." So I think, oh my word, how do I sponsor someone internationally? I don't know how to do this. So I went on to like eXp France's website, and there's a join link. So I copied the link and I emailed it to Frank. Never heard from him again. I have not spoken to Frank since that day. He joined. He put my name on his sponsor, as his sponsor on his contract. About 6 months after that, I had quite a big revenue share payment for the month. We just get paid every month. We get paid our revenue share. And it was quite big. And I thought, goodness me, what's that? So I went through all my transactions. I get paid on average, say, 2,000 Rand per transaction in my group. Obviously, it varies, but on average, about 2,000 Rand a transaction. I'm scrolling through and suddenly see this transaction. I got paid 12,000 Rand on just one transaction. Jeepers, what is that? And I looked across. It was Frank in France. Good old Frank had gone and done himself a transaction on the south of France. And because of the exchange rate from euros to rands, it was like 6 times more profitable for me than a normal transaction. Now, I sponsored a guy called Javi. He's the ex-Keller Williams guy. Keller Williams are very cross that he joined us. And Harvey sponsored, I can't even remember the lady's name, I think maybe Alta. Alta sponsored someone in the UK. That person sponsored somebody else in the UK. It's simple as that. You send an email, they click a link, they put your name, now you've got an international business. I sponsored Brad Neal. Brad sponsored someone in America. I sponsored Sharon Moodley in Durban. Sharon sponsored Berdine de la Porte. Berdine sponsored someone else. That person sponsored someone in Dubai. They were on my 4th tier. Okay, so just get this, guys. I'm sitting in South Africa in Cape Town. I built my whole business sitting at my computer like this. I now get a percentage of the revenues of agents working in South Africa, England, Dubai, America, France. It looks like we're about to go to New Zealand. And it costs me 900 Rand a month. I've got a global real estate company. It costs me 900 Rand a month. I didn't have to register a company in France, open an office in France, recruit agents in France, learn the language, employ an office manager, advertise, subscribe to all of their syndication portals. If you wanted to start a business in France, folks, you can't. It's not possible. And yet, with eXp's model, you can build a global real estate company where you get paid on agents all over the world, and you won't even know the majority of the people who join. Your job is to sponsor as many people personally as you can, if you are interested in the revenue sharing system. If you're not interested in any of this, you don't have to sponsor anybody. Just enjoy your 71% and the shares that they give you. That's fine. But if this does intrigue you, your job is to sponsor as many people personally as you can. You can sponsor 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm telling you, if you get to 90, you'll be free for the rest of your life. That's the goal. Okay, an exit plan. I'm finishing up. I'll be done by 11. Just as an illustration, it'll never work this mathematically, but if you were to sponsor 10 people personally on your first tier, over 5 years, that's not a heck of a lot, 10 over 5 years, especially if you're taking this thing seriously. And each of them were just to do the same. They were to sponsor 10 people over 5 years. Okay, what would that look like as far as income is concerned? If they are good agents, productive agents, they're all capping agents, you would earn on, you sponsor 10, they each sponsor 10. This is a 5-year exit plan for you. You would earn 2.6 million Rand a year. Passive income. And that's not even counting your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th tiers. It's just agents on 2 tiers there. I hope that gives you an insight into how profitable this can be. Yes, you're only earning 3.5% on each agent's transactions. It's not like you're taking 50% like the normal principal does. But it's the exponential growth of this company where the power sits. Because you're not the principal of these people. It's the freedom that this income gives you. So at the moment, just forgive me, this is me, you get me for who I am, okay? I'm open about my faith. I'm a committed Christian. Next year, my wife and I are starting a Bible study for young adults because we've got 2 beautiful daughters who look like supermodels, and that's not Papa Pride. Like I've got the most unbelievably beautiful daughters. And they are thankfully wanting to get serious about their faith. I've got one who's just come back from YWAM in Hawaii. My other one is finishing her 3rd year at varsity. And they said to me after all these years, now wanting to like slowly actually pursue their own faith, they said to me, Dad, please wouldn't you do a Bible study for young adults? Because there's no community in Cape Town where if you're kind of 20 or 21, where it's fun and it's vibey and it's good, groovy. It's not like an old person's church down the road. So I'm going to be running this Bible study next year in January. We're going to start. And I'm taking them through the book of Romans, which I think is the most fundamental book in the New Testament. And what I'm doing is, I am, at the moment, if you were to see my desk, okay, that's John Calvin's commentary on the book of Romans. I'm busy writing a Bible study on the book of Romans. That is what I spend my time doing. I just got paid revenue share. I'm tempted to tell you, I think it's crass to talk about money, but I just got paid an enormous amount of money. The revenue share was paid yesterday for the month. I've never earned this amount of money in my life before. And what have I been doing for the last month? I've been reading John Calvin and Matthew Henry, and I've been writing my notes on the book of Romans. That's what I spend my days doing. Passive income. Passive income. It's unbelievable, guys. Next steps. Schedule a follow-up appointment with the person that invited you here. Just have a discussion with them. Don't play hard to get. If you're one of my guests here today, I can tell you, if you're expecting me to chase you up and try to make an appointment with you, you can forget it. You want to talk to me, let me know. I'm here to talk. I'm not chasing anybody. Do some homework. I'm going to email all of you this link to this page where you can go and watch other videos. Go and do some homework. Secondly, access the eXp contract. The eXp's contract is 40 pages. Okay? There's nothing in there you need to worry about. There's no restraints of trade. If you leave, you can leave immediately. You can take all your listings with you. We've got the most open-handed contract of any real estate company, actually. But you do want to read it. You don't want to sign something you haven't read. So how do you get access to the contract? There is a page. You click that link. I'll put this in the email as well. On eXp's website, you click it. It says become an agent. Down at the bottom of that page, you click that. You say, I'm ready. Don't worry. You're not ready yet. Okay, I understand that. All you do is you fill in the form. What that form does is it triggers an email. It's an automated process. It triggers 2 emails. In fact, the second one has got a link to the contract in it. You're not joining eXp. You're just getting access to the contract. So do that. Read through the contract and then have some questions for the person that invited you. And then lastly, I would suggest you do what we call a Save Me beta test. Okay, this is a phone call that you make to your 2 or 3 best friends in real estate. These are those people that you trust, you love them, they're other estate agents with you. You phone them and you say, Mary, I just saw something today that has completely blown my mind. And I am strangely excited about what I've seen, but I need you to save me if I'm about to make the biggest mistake of my career. Please, would you have a look at this thing and give me your opinion? Okay, we're all salespeople here. Okay, there's power in a good script. That is a good script. Hey, Mary, I just saw something that's blown my mind. I'm incredibly excited about it, but I need you to save me if I'm going to make the biggest mistake of my career. Would you please have a look at this thing with me and give me your opinion? That's how you do it. Phone 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people and have that conversation. How do you show them this presentation? This exact presentation, almost word for word probably, is sitting at themodelexplained.co.za. I will put that in the email I sent to you as well. All you do is you click that link and you watch the video with them. Don't try to explain it to them, guys, because it's going to sound like a Tupperware party. You can't explain this thing properly. Just say, look, I can't explain it to you. It's like giving you a haircut over the phone. I need to sit with you. We're going to watch this thing together. Watch the video. Here's what will happen. If you show 10 people the video, 2 of them will join you immediately. And you will have a revenue share team, and your 900 Rand a month will be paid for through revenue share immediately. Okay, that's it. 11 o'clock, guys. I'm done. God bless you all. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and New Year with friends and family.